What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix race review. That's what we call it here, right? We call it the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix race review. And it is the final race review of the 2025 F1 Fantasy season. The season is over. However, in classic F1 Fantasy fashion, we are still waiting for the actual final results. It still says calculating. I feel like we're okay. I feel like we can probably go with it because all the points that I have scored when I go check my team on the other leagues match what F1 Fantasy poll or what F1 Fantasy Tools has on their website. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not entirely sure. I'm a little bit more nervous than some because I'm clinging to a top 1500 rank. But oh my goodness, wasn't that a final race to not remember? But it was a huge championship decider. Lando Norris, congratulations to Lando Norris on his first World Drivers' Championship. And yeah, we'll see how long that goes. Will he be going back to back in 2026? I don't know. You know what? Let's give the people what they want. Let's give a poll. Let's get a poll going to start the race. Who will be the WDC in 2026? I'm going to go with Max. I'm going to go McLaren driver. I'm going to go Mercedes driver. And for those of you that love pain, I'm going to do Ferrari driver. So let me know who will be the World Drivers' Championship in 2026. Let's get into the chat. We've got Sammy in the chat. W season, W content. Thank you, Sammy. Really appreciate it. I hope you went for it. Also, loved Lenzo's reaction to winning. The tears highlight just how much it means. They are taking their sweet time calculating, says Michael. And yes, I agree, Altus, that I did not go for it. I did calculate the points, though. I did put a manual team together of what I was looking at. That was 269 points, and the team I went with was 262. So I'm not kicking myself too much for not going with an extreme build there. Alligator says, hello, boring race, but pretty good season. Yeah, let me know. What are y'all's provisional ranks? What was the total? How many mini leagues did you win? Like, give me the ranks in the chat below. Come on, let's get this party started. The next hour is kind of just a celebration of F1 Fantasy for the 2025 season as we kind of wrap this up, and then we will start looking ahead to 2026. It's not that many days. I think preseason testing is 50 days away. Is that right? Like, holy moly. I think it's January 26th or something. That's the first private test. Nixie's in the chat. What's up, Nixie? Michael's in the chat. Cherubrook says, just checking that this isn't the China DSQ stream. I don't know what is going on with that. That has popped up like twice today, I think. I have actually just deleted it from the channel so it can stop starting to stream. There's some bug in the machine, but yeah. Captain Frogman's in the race. Nixie says the race wasn't that good. Will's in the chat. Benaz is in the chat. I'm trying not to feel too bad about my current rank. I dropped a lot in these last 2 weeks, but it points me to a better chip strategy for next year. If I keep my points, my first ever top 7K finish. Great job by you, 29.97 DF. Benaz, don't feel too bad. It happens to the best of us, and you still had a great season. Just a massive thanks to you and this community for making the season fun. It sure has been. Alligator says, I think I'm up to 72nd in the global standings. Huge thanks to your content. Or yes, wow, Alligator, that is huge. Top 100 finish for Alligator. Great job by you. Nixie says, I love pain. Lewis for the win. Haha. McLaren kick. Max Leclerc Russell build wasn't too bad for me, but rank was not the best. Yeah, actually, getting Charles Leclerc in there, man. Who knew that triple Ferrari was the way to go on your Limitless? Yeah. I won my mini league for the first time. Congrats. If Lewis wins World Drivers Championship in 2026, I will bawl my eyes out. Michael says, 157 provisional, by far my best. I won that guy Pondin's league for money. Great job by you, Michael. What a season. Won a mini league and finished in the top 1K, says Will. Great job by you, Will. Saran says, snooze fest, got top 20. My country was hoping for top 5, but oh well. It is my first F1 fan season after all. Number 1 in my local friends league by more than 500 points. Great job by you, Saran. Joey Fisher says, so far I'm number 1 in predicts. Scared about these results and if the mid-season predicts count too. Not my greatest work for both of those, but I guess we'll see when they finalize. Great job by you, Joey Fishy. Also won my mini league. Also congrats on that. When does autopilot apply? It should already have applied, actually, Captain Frogman. So it should have already switched to the highest scoring driver. Colin says, 1940 global, won my mini league. Big thanks to you. And thanks, Colin. Thank you. Great job by you. Top 2K. What a season. Altas says, I think I made top 500. Holy moly. We got some high flyers in the chat today. Great job by y'all. Gia008 says, I was top 200 in the world 4 weeks ago and then double McLaren DSQ ruined me since I went triple McLaren. Now I'm top 5K. Rough end to the season there, Gia, but still top 5K. That is still a phenomenal season. So you should be very, very proud of your 2025 campaign. But yeah. You know, there wasn't like a ton to talk about in the race. I mean, Ferrari, very surprising. Nico Hülkenberg coming away with 24 points. Like, holy moly. We'll get into it more a little bit now. Let's check in with the poll real quick here. We've got 27 votes. Who will be the WDC in 2026? Max at 37%, McLaren driver at 14%, Mercedes driver at 46%, and Ferrari driver at 4%. I'm going to guess that's you, Nixie. Alligator says, I think it came from keeping Max in the last several races. My earlier bad luck with Lando made me avoid him and took your advice. Go with who you think will win. Yeah, great job by you. I really thought Lando would win. I thought he was going to qualify on pole and win the race, and it just did not come to pass, unfortunately. But great job, Alligator. Great job by you. Kamichi says, so close to a podium finish for Global League. I guess got to have a high-level goal for my second fantasy season. Yeah, you know, you really got to improve on that, finishing 4th, Kamichi. Great job by you. Let's go check out the Global League, not the Content Creator League. Let's see here. So I think I've got the top 10 in here. I've actually kept here. Who have I've got Blue Brazil, Stuart Allen. There we go. Save all those. So most points possible by Spencer Guy. Congrats to you if you are ever watching this in the future. It looks like you have one F1 fantasy. However, it looks like 44th Gear Gavin D'Souza is going to win the first prizes because his team is actually a T1 squad. So the winner of F1 fantasy is actually T3 squad. So I believe they're not eligible for the prizes, which absolutely sucks. So great job by you, Spencer, but unfortunate about that little terms and condition thing. So congrats to Gavin D'Souza for winning the Global League first place prize. And then congrats to Kamichi here. Don't watch it, will win. The second T1 team in the world. That's Kamichi right there. So give a round of applause to Kamichi. They are in the chat. Great job by them. 5,844 points in one season. Like, holy moly. Like, and that's the first season of F1 Fantasy, and they finished 4th in the world. So great job by you. And then it looks like Piotr Wojcik will get 3rd place in the standings, or the prizes actually there. So great job by you. Marius says, won my job league by 1,100 points and around 500 global rank. Was around 200 global and tried to get top 100 with McLaren list for differential. Oof. But no Ferrari, I'm guessing, Marius. Ouch. Nixie with a triple cry face. Yes, I think you are the only one that believes in Ferrari. Bernard says, yeah, I can't feel too bad that I ended in top 3.9K. I was running the top 2.2K 2 weeks ago, which is where my self-doubt comes from. Not too bad. Top 100 in my country. Great job by you, Bernard. That is such a good season. Like, you do not have anything to worry about. And only bigger and better things in 2026. If you guys are watching, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to drop a question or a comment, it's the final live stream of 2025. So I will not be live answering any comments or any questions for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months here. So yeah, it'll be the last time that we have a live chit chat. So like whatever you want to talk about, F1 fantasy, F1, Just anything. Drop it in the comments, drop it in the chat. Let's have a nice little celebration of the 2025 campaign. Can you show us the Content Creator League results, please? A lot of us are following most of them, so genuinely curious. Oh, yeah, of course, I can do that. Yes, where are we at? Content Creator League. So these are all the T1 squads. I didn't include all of our T2 and T3 squads, but shout out to Tom, Pop Pan Man. I believe that his second squad finished in the top 100. Again, that's his second top 100 finish in about 3 seasons. So great job by Pop Pan Man. So we've got Duravin Racing, which I believe is F1 Fantasy Fuel or F1 Fantasy Tips on Twitter. F1FantasyTools.com finishing second. Pop Pan Man 1 finishing third. Rain Fantasy here, 5494. I believe I saw Rain talking on X earlier and saying that he may have cracked the top 1,000. Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did you go, Rain? Where did you go? You were right here. I saw you. You're on this list. Where are you? Sir, Rain, top 1,000 in the world. I'm pretty sure Rain is in the top 1,000. So great job by Rain. Let's get back to it here. And then it was yours truly, F1 Fantasy pole position here, 5449. So about, what's that, 35 points, 45 points behind Rain. So just trailing Rain here. Great differential by him going Verstappen in the last race with Norris as well. So really, really good job. Formula Fantasy Hub Rob. Unfortunately, I believe he had a little bit of a snafu with his early morning transfers, and that may have cost him in the Content Creator League as well. Zach GP here, also with a great season, and then Terry down here as well. But generally, all of the content creators above 5,100 points, so they all had pretty bang-up seasons. I think that'll have everyone at least in the top 10K. 1 second, my cats are just very upset that I've locked them in here with me. So let me go open this door real quick so they can go eat the rest of their big brother's food. Okay. Chaos has been averted in the house, so that's good. Okay, so that was the content creators. I hope that settled all that. That was just the T1 squads. I think all 3 of my teams finished in the top 1,000, if I'm looking at this correctly. Let's go check it out. Or top 10,000, I think I said 1,000, but 10,000. And 26th in Germany with the T1 squad. So overall, I mean, I didn't really take T2 or T3 that seriously. I had a pretty bad start, so... but next year, I kind of want to do something different with T2 and T3. I'm going to think about it in the off season and try to really have some, like maybe like a little bit of a more fun league or something like that we can all play along with in F1 Fantasy. Kamichi says, very well done by most points possible. Literally did what the team is called. Yeah, he sure did. Great job by him. Kamichi, getting some round of applause. Also agree with the others. Thanks for making fantasy fun. So many great pre-deadline streams, and you're always generous to answer all the comments. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best to answer every single comment. Let's see. If globally unique team name is in the chat at any point, hit me up. 2 Polish players on the prize podium is crazy. Yep, Poland representing. Ewan, are you doing content for the 2026 season? Yeah. Yes, sir. I'll be right back. I doubt I'll even be gone that long. Nixie, you're going to be like probably commenting on my videos, be like, dude, take a frickin' break before the time I'm back. So yeah, I'll be back. I'll probably be back before the end of the year. Oh, Michael said, oh, okay. Sorry, Michael. I thought that was someone else, but yes. So I won the content. Well, I guess you did. Yes, I guess you did. By the way, if anyone's looking for some merch as Christmas gifts, Fuel for Fans have a current sale. They had a great Black Friday sale, and I took advantage of it quite heftily. Nebez Vike says, I was 1180 after Qatar, was hoping to get into top 1K, but somehow managed to only gain 50 positions today, the price of going Alonso-less. Yeah, there were some big B-tier drives today. Hulkenberg, Alonso, Lance Stroll. It didn't help that Mercedes kind of abandoned their managers at the death there, because they had a pretty bad day overall. Looking forward to the Rain, Ewan, Rob, Zach, Fanamp collab. Will it happen? Rumor has it, try to get the lowest score in our T3 team next year. Yeah, I mean, I guess we just run like double Cadillac probably all year. Number one in the country, thank you for your advice. You are very welcome, the Moonwalker Colin. Whoa, well done, you, and to get top 155. I actually think that was possible after Australia. Yeah, I mean, after Australia, things were looking rough. We can probably go look at those standings, right? Yep, so this is here. After Australia, 900,000 in the world after Australia, 52 points. Like the artist Drake says, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Just holy moly. Yeah, couldn't believe it. So getting into the top 1.5K is 500 points short, or 500 places short of the goal that I set after the Australian Grand Prix. But I'm still very proud of the recovery drive that I had in F1 Fantasy for the 2025 season. Looks like we'll get P3 in my friends group. McLaren disqualification pulled me from 7th to 2nd, then took a punt on Lando in Qatar. Limitless fell to 3, and now chose Max, Russ, Hulk, Sainz, Gasly, Hadjar, Cry, FF to McLaren. Gasly to Hadjar for the final fix. McLaren and Mercedes. Would be cool to see you use a T2/T3 to aggressive budget build, or necessarily just see if you can get crazy high budget. Yeah, I was wondering like maybe I should do like T2 team is like budget only, T3 team is points only, and then my T1 team is like kind of what I go with. Like that might be something I go with as well. You are 26th in Germany. Yes, sir. Yes, I am. Did I say something different? My bad. Really hoping for some changes to the game this upcoming year. DNFs are punishing and swinging, and sprint DNFs shouldn't be 20. Also hoping for more customization for personal leagues. Yes. Let me know in the chat. Actually, that should be the next chat question. Let me know the one thing that you want the game to add or take away in 2026, whether it's reduce DNFs, whether it's add like a fantasy football. Like my dream in terms of gameplay is to have a like fantasy football like league where you kind of go head to head with a friend every week, and then you get like 3 points for a win, and then it keeps track of it throughout the season. Like maybe you have like a 12 team league, and then you have like you all play each other twice, and then the final 2 weeks are like a playoffs where like the top 4 teams like battle it out for like a battle royale or something like that. Overall good, plus top 3 get prices. Could not have done it without you. Thanks. You are very welcome, DesX. Thanks for all the useful content and advice this year. You and my first season. So happy with top 20K. We'll be back next year. Let's go, Craig. Great job by you for getting in the top 20K. Agree. Hope the in-game they get rid of driver a day / fastest lap 10 points. To be honest, I got incredibly lucky in Australia. Didn't watch the first few races. Managed to scrape by with no DNFs by looking at the weather and picking no rookies. 110225 rank race 1. Yeah. Great job by you, Kamichi. Extra points for qualifying. Would love to see a T3 team that exclusively uses F1 Fantasy Tools recommendations and see how it compares over a season. Great shout, Pub Waffle. Maybe that's something I can look at for 2025 or 2026. Also, reduce DNF. Would like DNFs to be -5 or max -10. Reduce DNFs, minuses for sprints. They don't need to take it away completely, but driver of the day should not be 10 points. Same for fastest lap. Yeah, I think for me, my shopping list for F1 Fantasy would be, well, first off, get rid of driver of the day. However, if you're not going to get rid of the driver of the day 5 points, fastest lap 5 points, and then qualifying should be first gets 15 points and 15th gets 1 point. So you have 15 points available for qualifying, because we should not be cheering for our drivers to get knocked out in Q1, because that gives us a better chance of scoring points in Sunday's race if they can move forward, because they can't really go down all that much. Like that kind of defeats the purpose. It takes a little bit of the fun out of qualifying, because like if your guy finishes 13th, like you shouldn't be wishing that you had the driver that was 19th. You know what I mean? Like that seems like backwards for the game to like be cheering on drivers. So I think that's something that they can fix. So you have 5 points for fastest lap, 5 points for driver of the day. Qualifying should be 1 to 15. I would probably, if they don't change my change to the DNFs would be, it wouldn't be like scrap it at all, but I think so. I would do -20 for the race, for the Grand Prix on Sundays, or Saturday in 2026, because we got a Azerbaijan Grand Prix that's on a Saturday. And then, so sprints would be -10 max for a DNF. Maybe sprints would just be -10 flat out for a DNF. However, for a Grand Prix, I would do -20 if you DNF in the first 25% of the race, -15 if you DNF in the 26 to 50% of the race, -10 if it's from 51 to 75% of the race, and then -5 if it's from 76% to 90%, and then 0 points if it's after 90% classification or 90% of the race. What do y'all think about that? Would you guys like a kind of graded DNF scale? Like that's kind of what I would like. They should remove points for driver of the day in F1 fantasy. This is not something we can affect and are often wrong, says Alexander. Yes, that's true. Bonus points if you overtake Stroll. Teammate head to head, who gets higher points like years back? Yeah, that's a good point. Like beat your teammate points, like plus like a 3-point bonus. Yeah, that might be nice. Negative points if you get overtaken by him, says Benads. Talk about Lance Stroll. Hoping for top 1K. I was just inside the top 700 before the race. Fastest lap being 10 points of driver day is no more than 4 points. Qualifying is not prioritized. I agree with 15 points in P1, 1 point for P15. On the one hand, the quality points in driver of the day seem counterintuitive, but it does introduce a whole lot of game theory to work with, becomes a whole meta game, says Kamichi. -10 DNF is more than enough. To be honest, negative variance for users is unlucky. Gasly's DNF at Spa Sprint being -20 with 2 laps left was insane. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, 20 minutes into the stream. Who will be the World Drivers' Champion in 2026? Max is at 39%, and McLaren is at 16%. Mercedes is also at 39% with Max Verstappen, and Ferrari driver is at 7%. So, Nixie, I guess you've got one friend in here, unless you signed into your YouTube burner account and just voted a second time for Ferrari. All right, next poll. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Where did you finish? Let's see. Top 1K, top 5K, top 10K, and top 50K. Because those are all still pretty solid seasons. I'm going to put 25K. Let's put 25K. There we go. Where did you finish? Top 1K, top 5K, top 10K, top 25K. Start poll. And if you finished outside the top 25K, I'm not trying to, like, that's still a good rank. Don't worry about it. I'm just curious about who is watching right now, where you all went. There's a lot of sentiment for removing minus points, but what ideas for extra points? I say plus 10 for pole. You can't make pole position 20 points. I think that's a little too much, Michael. But I think 15 points, I kind of like the idea of 15 to 1. That's kind of been on my list for a while here. So that's what I would be interested in. But 20 points for pole, that's kind of a lot, especially if you like have the constructor already. It's kind of like you're already doubling up like that. So that's something to think about. But extra points, I like the beat teammate points. I think back in the day, we had those streaks, and I think that might be a little too complicated for managers, but that's something that I like the beat teammate points. That's like pretty simple. 3 points. There you go. Williams or Aston Martin faster for 2026? I think I'd go with Williams right now. Charbrook says, sprints have the same punishment as a race. DNF should be reconsidered because there's 1/3 of the main race in laps and points IRL. Yeah, so what? Like a DNF is 8 points? Maybe we go with that. Rumors are Merc engine will be strong, but really curious to see what type of cars Red Bull plus Aston with Honda produce. Also, Alonso World Drivers Champion incoming. That would be quite a story, I think, especially because they are the only team with the Honda engine next year, because Red Bull's got the Ford/Red Bull powertrain coming in. So that's kind of, that's kind of something that we'll have to watch, I guess. 3-race Q3 streak would be rewarding, just 2+ points. Beat teammates should definitely come back. Are there any out-of-the-box ideas for points? Let's think. Let's think. I guess, like, I almost wonder if they go back to maybe an A, B, C tier system, and you could maybe go with like C tier drivers. Like maybe C tier drivers can't score negative points, or they score 1.5 times the amount of points that they actually score in a race to maybe like have people consider the C tier assets. Because like if Cadillacs suck and Bottas and Perez are all at the back the entire season, like people are going to avoid them. So maybe if you make it that like C tier drivers can't score negative points, or they score 1.5 the amount of points that they originally score, that could be something to kind of make sure that there's not too much of a meta, I guess, as long as it's like not out of nowhere, where like they are amazing, or they don't, like, as long as they don't mess the pricing up too bad. Bernard says, I'd be curious to see how the Ford engines performs next year, and then if there are any changes when Red Bull becomes a factory team. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. Alligator says, I like the street points as well. Also really hope they get rid of the budget system with a 3-race calculator. Yeah, I'm going to be interested. I think it was Leapsfrog, the 2024 champion, who they were doing some calculations of what the price rises would have been in this season if they were using the 2024 pricing system. So that would be something to look at for 2026. I don't really mind the pricing system from this year, because I think it kind of offered a lot of different approaches to the game, where there were people who focused on points a lot of the season and they got a pretty big lead. And then those people that focused on like a little bit of budget and a little bit of points, or a lot of budget and a little bit of points, it all kind of seemed to converge at the end of the season, where like I'm trying to think where I was. I think I was in like the top 8-ish K like 6 races ago. But then once I got into those like 100, like once I got above 135 million, I was making a lot of gains, because I was able to afford bigger teams that some of those teams that had focused on points earlier and then were suffering in budget couldn't get to. I think the one saving grace for those teams that didn't have a lot of budget towards the end of the season was Kimi Antonelli. He was not an option for like 66% of the season. And then he kind of came out of nowhere. So it would have been really interesting at the end of the season, like if Antonelli wasn't an option for those people who kind of focused on points at the beginning, and then like he was almost like the escape route from not focusing on budgets, because they could just go to Antonelli and score a boatload of points and kind of stay ahead of us. But in general, I don't know. I understand what you're saying, Alligator, but it kind of worked for me. I kind of liked it. I almost offered like different approaches to the game, where it's like, okay, I'm going to focus on budget and then I'll make it all up at the back end, which is kind of what I did. Or you had people that just focused on points the entire season and they stayed ahead of me, or maybe they suffered in budget at the end. I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm glad they tried something new. I'm interested to see what they try for 2026, because it could just be something totally different. One thing I know for sure is I probably won't be doing I'm not sure if I'll be doing any price predictions, because me and Rob, Formula Fantasy Hub, spent about 2.5 hours in like the middle of February doing price prediction episode. And then it was like, oh, it's a totally different pricing system. So saying that, I'll probably do it, because it is some fun content to make some price predictions. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Michael says he likes my suggestion. The 3-race average creates the meta. I think the solution is that 1 race back counts 100%, 2 races back counts 50%, 3 races back count 25%, or something similar, decreasing the strength of previous races. Okay, there we go, Saran. I just hated 1 DNF, made drivers basically unusable for 3 races due to 0.6 budget. That's a good, not bad. Not a bad idea. Might not have enough in me to see the stream to the end, so I'll catch the replay later. Thanks for all the good advice this year. You're looking forward to 2026. Thank you, Cherubrook. Go get some sleep. Yash says, "Hey, bud, I hope you're okay. How about C tier drivers if they bring back 3 tiers, get 3 times the points for quali? We usually value budget guys who are bad qualifiers, but now we'll cheer on Q3 appearances." That's very interesting. Yeah, I kind of like that as well, Yash. Yeah, great suggestion. The pricing strategy for next year will be wild though, because no one really knows how each team can perform. Yeah, so I believe that preseason testing 1 in Barcelona and preseason testing 2 in Bahrain are both going to be behind closed doors. I don't think we're going to get any access to that kind of stuff. I'm sure there'll be like some reports coming out and all that stuff, but I believe preseason 3 testing in Bahrain is actually the only one that's going to be on TV. I don't know about the media. I don't really know what that's going to do, but it looks like a lot of teams are releasing their liveries and stuff like in early to mid-January. I believe Cadillac's releasing theirs like around the Super Bowl in the US. So just the first one is private. Bahrain is open. Okay, never mind. I thought it was both. I thought it was the first one in Barcelona and the first one in Bahrain. So there's 2 separate testings in Bahrain, right? I know they're both open to the press and stuff like that. Okay, that's interesting. What's up, Ewan? I like how it forces us to use different drivers. I used 18 of 20 drivers. I didn't use Yuki and Russell. Bit surprising, LOL. And Lando Norris won WWW. Okay. Yes, great job, Sam. I was happy for you when Lando came home. I was kind of happy for myself. I don't know. I think maybe F1 Fantasy has like tainted my mind a little bit, where I was just genuinely happy for everyone. I think I was a little bit more happy that Lando won. Obviously, Max produced like an epic chase down, but I don't know. It's kind of, I think I like all of the grid. But I think Lando, back when I started watching, like when he first came up, I was like, yeah, I kind of like him. So it was nice to see him. It was a little dusty when I was listening to him on the radio and stuff like that. So yeah, but this is a safe space. I've been on Twitter a little bit tonight, and goodness gracious, some of the people out there just like touch tarmac, y'all. Like it's brutal out there. Alligator says first one is in Spain, private, and then second, third in Bahrain, public, and will be on F1 TV, I believe. Whew. That is going to be lots of fun then, Alligator. I'm gonna have to bring a charger to work so I can watch all of that testing. They are still calculating. I really didn't want to go live until they had all the scores finalized. It feels like they're pretty finalized right now. So I felt like it was okay to go live, because usually when they say calculating, then it's within like the hour. They usually give you the finalized scores. Let's see. What made me so sad was the immediate response saying he was undeserving, as if he didn't have 7 wins this season. Any of those drivers would have been deserving. Totally agree, Benods. Sammy saying, haha, Twitter is crazy. Yes, it sure is, man. It is the wild, wild west out there. Shall we go check out some 2025 bold predictions? Let's go see how bad this F1 Fantasy content creator did in the bold predictions. I wasn't just on Twitter too. I saw a comment on Kim's YouTube and on Threads. Jeez. Now EPL can haunt us. I don't know. What is that sport you're talking about, Sammy? Is that English? No, I don't really follow soccer that much, or football. I don't really follow it that much. Wouldn't be for me, Sammy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's darts season starting on Thursday. Hey. Yeah, World Darts Championship starting on Thursday. Get with it, people. All right, let's go through this. Kick Sauber. Both drivers score points. Ching. Bortoletto outscores Doohan and Hadjar. That didn't happen, right? Drivers standings. Bortoletto outscores, 19 points. I see you. I think EPL might be cricket. Oh yeah, it is cricket. You're right, Benoz. You're right. Salah going all out. Yeah, those were some comments and a half from Mohamed Salah. And if I was Slot, I would not be going against Mohamed Salah. He is a Liverpool legend. All right, so Bortoleto did not outscore Isaac Hadjar. So outscores Aston in the second half. They did not. The new guy outscores Hulk in F1 Fantasy, and Sauber are at least the 7th best constructor to use in Fantasy, said the audience question. Let's go check that out. Are these finalized yet? Will they have done them? Oh, F1 Fantasy Tools is already updated. There we go. Bortoleto did not outscore Hulkenberg, unfortunately, and Sauber was actually the 9th best constructor in F1 Fantasy. I'm a United fan and got flashbacks from the Ronaldo situation. Yeah, it's brutal out there. All right, so kick Sauber, I went 1 for 3 there, and the audience suggestion was 0 for 2. Next up is Williams. Sainz finishes top 10 in the World Drivers' Championship. Check. 1 top 5 finish. Check. And 7th in the World Constructors Championship. Wrong. I was dead wrong on that because they finished 5th. So great job by them. And then hopefully not too bold, but Sainz kills it at Williams. I'll give it a check. So great job by the audience. So 2 for 3 with Williams. Racing Bulls. Sonoda drives for Red Bull. Check. Hadjar finishes bottom 2 in World Drivers' Championship. Team finishes 8th in World Constructors' Championship. Also, they finished 6th. So great job by... Wait, those are not updated, are they? Didn't Aston Martin pass Racing Bulls today? I thought Aston Martin... They were talking about how Aston Martin passed Racing Bulls on the broadcast. But I guess they didn't. Got all the F1 predicts wrong, except for the last 2 ones. Okay, so I guess they did not finish 8th. All right, Haas outscores 2024 result. Check. 1 top 5 finish. Check. Both drivers inside the top 12. I don't think so, right? No, both outside. No, RB stayed ahead. Oh, okay. James Vowles has been cooking for Williams. Yes, with Stroll in the points, they were 1 point ahead. Okay, I guess that... Oh, but Stroll had a time penalty, so that didn't happen. Okay. So what was that final bold prediction? Both drivers inside the top 12? No, just outside. Well, not just outside, but top 15. Okay, so what was that? 2 for 3 with Haas. Lando will win, says Petter, and Ferrari wins the Constructors. Not sure if that's bold or not. Oliver and Antonelli will end up on the podium. Very close, Petter. Very close there. Alpine Doohan drives at least 6 races. Check. Gasly has 2 top 5 finishes. And Colapinto not in 2026 lineup. What have we got here? Doohan finishes 20th. I think he finished 21st, so I'll give that to you. Upset application _37. Stroll scores less than 20 points. I don't think that was true, huh? 33 points for Lance Stroll. Alonso has 0 top 5 finishes. Was that right? Did Alonso not finish in the top 5 all year? Let's see. DNF 11 5 11 or 11 15 11 9 7 7 9 7. Oh, Hungary, he finished 5th. 1 top 5 finish. Dang. Team finishes 7th in the World Constructors Championship, which I believe they did, right? Didn't we just look at that? Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's 1 for 3. Mercedes, 1 win all season. Antonelli reaches podium. Check. And Russell loses to Lawson in the World Drivers' Championship. No. And then quit OK 4646 says Bottas replaces Russell mid-season. Red Bull, Verstappen wins World Drivers' Championship. This close. Lawson wins a race. Nope. And team wins less than 7 races. It was looking good there in the first half. Ferrari wins the World Constructors Championship. Leclerc and Hamilton won 3+ races. Hamilton finishes 4th in the World Drivers' Championship. Nope. Piastri wins more races than Norris. That's a wash. 0 championships. That was also wrong. And both drivers linked with new teams. That was also wrong. So not the best year for the bold predictions for me. Let's check. Do we have finalized scores? Still nothing. The Zap says, forgot to put in my 3x boost. What a rookie error. Gutted to end my first season like that. That's okay, the Zap. On to bigger and better things in 2026. But sounds like you learned a lot this year, so hopefully you'll be back for 2026. How'd you do with the mid-season predicts? Oh, great question. Great question. View my predictions. Oof, that was wrong. Pick the top 3 in the World Drivers' Championship: Piastri, Lando, Max. Who will finish this season higher in the Constructors' Championship? I picked Ferrari. Who will score the most Grand Prix pole positions? I picked Lando. I had Gabriel Bortoleto. I guess they tied, right? So that's weird. I picked I guess I picked Alex Albon. Wow, I did really bad at these. Who will set the fastest pit stop time? That's McLaren. Who finishes ahead? I had Ocon there. And then I had Piastri, who will win the fastest lap of the year. Where does Lewis Hamilton finish in the Drivers' Championship? 6th. And then will the Drivers' Championship go to a final race? I said no. Oh, so really bad. Really, 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 really bad. And then view predictions here, also really awful. I got the Q3 right. I was kind of happy about that. And then boom. Jeez, that was rough. That did not go well at all for me. So let's get out of here and let's just go back to the top 1,500 ranking team that I had in F1 Fantasy. Woo, top 400 US. Surprised myself with that one considering my budget was all over the place mid-season. Great job with Flame. Alligator says, same. I made top 100. I think we both went with Max last few rounds and it paid off. Great job by y'all. Yeah, both of y'all did fantastic. Alrighty, shall we go through? We're 41 minutes into the stream. Let's do one final poll because this one's been going on for 20 minutes. Where did you finish in F1 Fantasy this season? Top 1K was 38%, top 5K was 35%, top 10K was 12%, and top 25K was 15%. But pretty much overall, great job by everyone. So fan-tabby doozy, great job by y'all. I don't really want to ask this question because, well, you know what? I'm going to ask this question. Will you be back for 2026? Yes? No. Okay, there we go. So yes, or yes, but on another line, or no. So let me know. Are you going to be back for 2026? Did you enjoy your experience with F1 Fantasy? I'm going to say that if you guys are watching me at 9:12, that this better be 100% yes. 100% says Mark Johnson Roche. There we go. Love to see it. Alligator and the Flame are congratulating each other. Great job by y'all. So y'all answer that question and we will go through. I got 3 out of 10 in the midseason predicts as well, says Charbrook. All right, so today in the drivers, we have Verstappen with 46 points. Driver of the day kind of swung it there. Leclerc, we haven't even talked about Ferrari yet. Holy moly, Ferrari. Leclerc, 35 points, Hamilton, 28 points, and Ferrari overall with 83 points. 22 overtakes, 10 points for the fastest lap, and the fastest pit stop. Red Bull, they outscored Mercedes over the last 2 weeks when I switched over to them with that minus 20 in Qatar. But where did the fastest pit stop go, guys? Like, that's why I picked y'all. Y'all had such a good advantage on Mercedes in the pit stops, and then it just went away over the final 2 races. So that was pretty disappointing. I'm not going to lie. But that's okay. Norris with 29 points, Hamilton with 28, Piastri with 28, Hulkenberg with 24, 9 positions gained, and 13 overtakes. Holy moly. Ocon with 21 points, Stroll with 20, Russell with 20, and Alonso with 17 was the top 10. Just check my predicts now. You guys were talking about. Got everything wrong except last 2 for this race and 2 correct podiums. Held on to first place in globally. Great job by you, Joe Fishy. Bernard says, I can't believe you haven't asked the most important question. Will you subscribe to the YouTube membership in 2026? Well, obviously everyone is going to do that, Bernard's, right? Like, obviously, especially like once we get the prize leagues going, once they realize what they're missing out on the monthly power rankings that are coming out this week to do my season ending power rankings and to just get to chit chat with us, obviously, right? Like, why would they not want to join the YouTube membership program, which right now is also the Patreon program, but sometime this week, that's just going to switch over to only the YouTube membership program. So yes, obviously people are going to want to do that, but odds people are just as smart as you. You are the first person to join and you will not be the last. Kamichi says, 100% honestly did not expect to get this into F1 thanks to fantasy. There we go, Kamichi. That's what I like to see. The Flame low-key thought Tsunoda would have played a bigger role in being speed bump for McLaren. Ferrari hopium for December once again. I had so much faith in Yuki going out guns blazing. Ferrari would have been a good differential, no, but who would have thought that? You know what? Let's go check it out. One manager in the global top 500 thought that Ferrari was going to have a good weekend. So great job by them. The Ferrari pit crew wanted Christmas bonuses. Michael Farman says, welcome to Pole Sitter. There we go, Michael. That's what I'm talking about. Get in the Discord. Hit me up on X and you will get the Discord invite. So great job by you, sir. Yeah, tons of fun in the off season coming. We'll just chit chat F1 whenever we get some news. But yes, thank you, Michael, for coming on to the F1 Fantasy Pole Position YouTube. Always at this time of year, next it's Ferrari's turn. Hey, you and my wife really enjoys watching Fantasy Pole Position with me, and now you have another dedicated follower. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Mark Johnson Roche says, YouTube, haha, classic Ferrari showing up when it doesn't matter. And we got Michael becoming a pole setter. That's what I'm talking about, Michael. That is what I'm talking about. Great job by you. You think they just fired up all the cylinders and ran close to quality settings since 2026 revamp is on the horizon? Possibly. I mean, these cars are now officially like museum items. They will never be used again. DRS is over. These regulations are over. These types of cars are over. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, a lot of these cars, we'll never see them again. Never, ever, ever see them again. 88% say yes, they will be back in 2026. And 12% says yes, but on another line. So they will be back. Great job by y'all. You know what I'm going to do real quick? Does anyone know what the Crystal Palace game ended up at? Mark Johnson is now a pole sitter. Welcome to F1 Fantasy Pole Position YouTube membership. You guys are awesome. The memberships are rolling in. Bernard's, it's going to get crowded in the Discord. We're going to have to move our furniture closer together to make room for Michael and Mark joining the Discord. So great job by y'all. Ooh, Hearts beat Celtic today in the Scottish Premiership. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go Hearts. And then in the English Premier League, not that I really follow soccer. We've kind of talked about that, you know. Yeah. So I don't really follow soccer, but I'm just checking it out just in case. Crystal Palace. Mark Gahey scored again. Oh, goodness gracious. Bye-bye DRS. We won't miss you. Mark Johnson. Roger says, let's go. That's what I'm talking about, Mark. Sounds like Kimi was actually the last driver in the race to use DRS, but won't the rookie testing also have DRS? But I guess in the race, right? Because Jenson Button was the first one to use DRS and Kimi Antonelli was the last one. Is that the fun fact we saw? 2-1 to Palace. All right, there we go. I'm really hoping next year it's a really round team. Maybe Williams that comes out gates blazing, a la Braun GP 2009. What about Cadillac? What if they've just had a whole season to only focus on 2026, not even worry about 2025, and they've cracked the code somehow? It's fine. We'll build a condo, whatever we need to welcome more members. Yeah, I think I've seen a new plot of land where we can put a high-rise in there. Imagine Audi makes the Braun GP dream run. That would be pretty epic, the Flame. That would be pretty epic for sure. But yeah, great job by y'all. Very believable. I hear football isn't big in Germany. Yeah, I was out to dinner the other night or last night with my wife and my family because they were in town, and we were in a Brauhaus, and there were some Bayern Munich fans and there were some Stuttgart fans, and there was like nothing going on. There was no like cheering or shouting, and where we were was like it wasn't very I couldn't get a lot of cell service, so I couldn't check the score. And I get out of the restaurant and I'm like, oh, that's why, because it was like 5-0 Bayern. Yikes. Yikes. I wouldn't be, the Bayern fans were being very well behaved. Yikes. Liverpool versus Inter in the UCL. Very tough game. Not for Inter, it won't be, Sammy. Not for Inter, it won't be. Not with the way we're playing. Jeez Louise. But yeah, thank you to Mark and Michael for joining the F1 Fantasy poll, or becoming poll sitters, which I don't know if I need a new name for that. I thought it was kind of funny when I created it, but you guys are on poll, so there we go. Wait, so is the rear wing going to be adjustable like brake bias and whatnot going to 2026? Did I hear that right, or was I given false info? I'm not 100% caught up on the new regs for 2026 Flame, but I believe there's something like X mode and Z mode where you can pass in the corners or pass on the straights and it's all automatic. Michael, Alligator, like let me know your thoughts. I think you guys are maybe a little bit more into that technical side than myself, but yeah, like I don't know. What are your early thoughts for 2026? That's a great question, Alligator. I could see George Russell being world champion this time next year. If these rumors about Mercedes and cracking the code with the engine are true, I don't see George Russell has the chops to become a world champion. He just needs to get in a car that can compete on a world championship level. And I believe 2026 will be the time that he needs to strike, because I think Kimi Antonelli feels like he's on a little bit of an Oscar Piastri track where if you don't put him away quickly, it's going to be really hard to battle him for a world championship. And I mean, obviously Lando has come through and has won the World Drivers' Championship this season. So great job by him. But I think the earlier George kind of gets with the program, gets a handle in the car, gets a handle in the regs, and maybe like makes Antonelli know that he's still top dog at Mercedes, then you'd want him to get that World Drivers' Championship out of the way nice and early. Is Madrid still going ahead? Isn't the track not even built? I believe there are like delays going on with the track, but according to the committee that runs that race, they say everything is on time. I'm guessing Kimi will be on a lot of teams with a great price. Yeah, I could see him being like, well, I guess it depends on what we see in testing, but I think the game will probably price him in like the like Oscar Piastri range. Like say Mercedes is like way far and ahead, the best car on the grid. I still think they're going to put George and Charles, Oscar, Max, Lando, and Lewis ahead of Kimi. So Kimi could be 2026's version of this year's Oscar. That would maybe be my first thought. Bernard says, I heard the acronym MOM used. All I know is James Vowles described the battery being deployed for overtakes, which also makes it important to recharge. Alligator coming in the clutch here. What do we got? DRS, or active aerodynamics. DRS is replaced by movable front and rear wings with 2 modes. Z mode for cornering, higher downforce, and X mode for straight lines, low drag. There we go. Sweet. Thanks for confirming. Manual override mode. A new overtaking aid provides a temporary boost of electrical power to the chasing car. Is there any of it on how to decide asset prices for Cadillac and drivers? I'm expecting Cadillac to probably be early contenders for bottom of the barrel assets, Maxi. I think they're going to be at the back of the pack because they are a brand new outfit coming into F1, and that's very hard to do. Let's see here. Mark Johnson making use of some emojis and stuff like that because he's a new fan. Do you think Piastri remembers this in future contract talks with McLaren if he doesn't win a World Drivers' Championship himself with them? Yeah, I think it'll be kind of interesting to see if Oscar Piastri is on a new team in 2027. I mean, he's locked into McLaren for 2026, but there could be something where, you know, he could maybe get out of his contract for 2027, see who is best on the grid for the next 3 years with these regs, and we could see a lot of movement next season. Like, I think we've only got one new driver coming on the grid this season in Arvid Lindblad, but I think... yeah, 2027, when the grid reshuffles and we kind of see how all these new regs play out, I think we're going to get a pretty crazy summer break or driver silly season. Flame says, I'd imagine a lot of teams will attempt to work some clever trickery into the active aero system. I agree. Well, he's signed till 2029. I think he leaves before. Oh, is okay. I knew he signed a contract extension, but I guess I didn't know how long it was, or if it was like one of those that he's maybe just getting paid a little bit more money for the years of his current contract and then like gets extended by 1 year. But yeah, it has come to my attention that without my consent, McLaren has confirmed I will drive for them in 2027. You know, these contracts have a funny way of getting bought out if people do it enough. Oh my God, Bottas is back, says Sammy. He sure is, Sammy. Totally agree. I think there will be earlier technical directives to clarify / rein in any runaway teams. Yes, that would not be surprising, Alligator, but that is a great call by you. 91% of you are saying yes. 9% of you are saying yes, but on another line. So that is great news, y'all. I am super, super pumped to have y'all back in F1 Fantasy for the 2026 season. Hopefully the game launches a little bit earlier so we can set up more fun leagues and get some stuff going and promo the Discord and all that fun stuff. Yeah, hopefully we still get some fun before other team principals complain and get things squashed down. Cadillac could be good fantasy assets unless it's a Haas Williams of 2021 way back with their experience. Could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We got some time to go with that stuff. Lights out and away we go to sleep. Way past my bedtime at almost 4:30 a.m. in my part of the world. Catch y'all on the next stream. Thank you, Chairbrook. Have a great sleep. We will see you on the next stream in 2026. And just like Chairbrook is going to bed, I think I may be also getting ready to call it a night. I still don't know why the scores aren't finalized, but it looks like I've ended in the top 15 or top 1500 of the season, which I am very proud of myself. I'm very proud of all of y'all that achieved all the ranks that you want to do. So great job by y'all. Oh yeah, remember how late the game began this year? Way late. It was like 3 days before the start of the season, Michael. It was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe the rush. I love seeing teams succeeding cleverly tiptoeing around the roads. Best part of F1 engineering. Absolutely back next year. This has been a very pleasant year. Thank you, and you are very welcome, Mac Attack. I will be back this week. Not with any like must-watch content, but if you guys see it on the old YouTube algorithms, just give it a like, give it a view. Let me check my schedule. What have I actually planned to do here? I believe it's going to be a season review. And then I believe I'm going to be on someone else's channel next week. And then there'll also be the November/December power rankings for those of y'all that are signed up as poll sitters or are in the Discord. So if you're watching this on replay, you can still sign up and you'll get to look at the final power rankings of the 2025 F1 fantasy season. Michael saying we hauled ourselves up from 50 points in Australia. We sure did, Michael. We did bang up job this season. But yeah, great season, everyone. Thanks for the content, and happy holidays, everyone. Yes, everyone have great holidays. I will be around. I will be clanking around on YouTube a little bit here and there. But yeah, so it looks like I finished top 1500 of the world. I'm probably just going to go to bed and claim that before it changes. And then people see that I've dropped out of it. No, just kidding. I think I've been in the top 1500. But congrats to everyone that won their mini leagues or finished second or third or won any prizes or won their family leagues or did whatever they wanted to do in the global rankings. Y'all have absolutely crushed it. Mac Attack coming in here, ranked 60, 90 after the season. Very happy for my first time. Yes, and you will do better in 2026 because that's already a great first season, Mac Attack, and we will build on that for 2026. So great job by you. But okay, that is actually it. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been fantastic. 2025 has been a phenomenal year for this channel. So thank you for watching every stream. Thanks for every like, every comment, every mention on TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or wherever you are consuming my F1 fantasy content. I really, really appreciate all the support. And there is no doubt in my mind that I'll be back for 2026. I'm probably going to be back this week. And then I'll probably take like a week off and be like, anyone got any F1 fantasy content? So yeah, that will probably be me because that's how my brain works. So happy holidays, everyone. If this is the last time I see you until 2026, but hopefully you guys will kick it around and watch any videos that come out of the YouTube channel. So yeah, this is it. I hope you guys crushed it. Abu Dhabi, congrats to Lando Norris and congrats to the rest of y'all that had a fantastic F1 Fantasy 2025 season. But once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you next time.